But don't you all do the same workout?
Yeah, but you stage it. So there's the workout and you do different parts at the same time, so not everyone's using the same equipment.
How did you take all your equipment outside?
Just carry it.
As in Troy.
Did you just like go in and just say we're taking all this
Yeah.
to outside?
Had to.
Well, you just take your. There's rigs outside.
Yeah.
There's 2 rigs
Mats
outside
and
and mats outside.
Usually,
You've been there before, haven't you?
usually
No.
the rowers go out there.
Yeah. It's really
So
outside.
what, you and Donnie and Billy just picked everything up and took it
Yeah,
outside?
Adrian. Yeah, it's not much stuff.
You
There's 4 or
often
5
do.
others.
You do.
People do lunges out there today, which is normally what they do.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Okay,
all right. Thanks for coming, guys.
you're welcome for having us.
And just wanted to do a quick intro. So we've got Bill here, our club manager, Billy Sorden.
How was everyone?
Good,
Good, mate. How are you?
Never better.
That's good. And Emma, our fitness professional,
Oh, that's
one of my colleagues. No, none for me. Awesome. So today's date, 17th of the 1st, time 10:30 a.m. And the purpose of today's meeting is the health and safety meeting, just to do a recap on last month with some incidents and some hazards that occurred, and just to go through a few general health and safety points. Okay. So agenda for today, number 1 is WHS within the workplace. So just talk a bit about that and our responsibility. Number 2 is a hazard identification, and we'll review and what we've identified with some hazards. Number 3 is risk controls. Number 4 is control measures we've put in place to minimise those and to review. 5 is some incident report from incident we had last month as well with one of our clients. And then 6 is just employee health and welfare and we'll just discuss stress and fatigue from last month from an incident as well. Okay, all good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So, who brings a dog to the gym? Who does that? It must be a good gym to let you do that. Thanks for letting that happen, Billy.
No worries.
Billy's dog.
Is it your
Owner's
dog?
dog. Owner's dog.
Okay, cool. So WHS within the workplace. So a few things. So as a PCBU, so person conducting business or undertaking, we're required to do everything so far as reasonably practicable for the health and safety of. So workers engaged or caused to be engaged by the person. Workers whose activities carriage out work are influenced or directed by the person as well, or other person's work that is carried out as part of the conduct of the business or undertaking. So anything we get our clients to do, or our owner gets us to do, anything that falls within that, we have to manage, review, identify, and then continue to put measures in place to reduce those risks. Okay, any questions around that?
No.
No? Awesome. Okay, so agenda number 2 is just hazard identification. So there's a few hazards in the workplace from the gym last month that were identified. One of those was being bands hanging off rigs and left hanging off the J-frames after workouts completed. That's the hazard. The risk from that was just people getting caught up on that, walking past, arms, legs, potentially even around necks if they're hanging as well. The risk was quite low, so too low. So would it happen? It's pretty rare. What would the consequences be? It may have been a bit of first aid potentially. So it was a low risk. Another one we identified was dumbbells left on the floor in the walkway. As you can imagine, potential trips, hazards from there, bruises. Would mainly be first aid, but it could be a bit higher if they were to fall over and hit their head on another dumbbell, a rig, or so on as well. So that rating was a bit higher for a 6M, so 6 moderate, so a bit more implementation and quicker around the incidents, the corrective actions for that. Third one was just boxes stacked too high, so that was a 4 low, but the risk of it falling over onto somebody. They're not timber boxes, they're soft boxes, which helps us. But just make sure we're not stacking them or we're not stacking them at all in the workplace as well. So that was a 4 low. So hazard control. Have any of you guys noticed any of that in the workplace? Kind of going around?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
And you just haven't said anything.
I know, sorry.
Okay.
Try our best.
I
Club
was waiting
manager.
for the
Club
club manager
manager
to
to
fix
say
it up, and
something.
he hasn't fixed it
As
up.
I've delegate.
I like it, to me. Good. Okay, hazard one, just risk controls. For this one, mine was just around admin control, and that was we'll provide a notice to trainers and at meetings to ensure equipment is put away after sessions. So I think it's important that after a session, we coach our clients to put the equipment away, and we just follow up on that as well. And we'll request this a part of the end of session routine as well. So end of your session, just follow up on it, check it in. And when you introduce your new clients into the gym as well, just talk through those good housekeeping routines as well. Okay. Next one for hazard number 2, which is dumbbells on floor, was just admin control again, and just the same thing. Provide a notice to you guys and our fitness professionals, our PTs. End of each session, equipment goes away, and we do that as part of our checklist throughout. Okay. Hazard number 3 was admin control as well. This is a notice in the box area, not to stack too high. Educate and tell trainers to check after each session that they are used and they are put away appropriately at the same time. So quite similar things there, but it's just really introducing it to our clients and making sure they're aware of what they do at the end and us checking when they do it as well. And the quicker we get them into the habit of it, the safer it'll be as well. Due date for all that. 25th of the 1st, so these were identified a week or two ago and notified to a lot of people, but we'll get the notices up, and if we can just implement that from the 25th, and we'll review that at the next meeting as well. Okay. Control measures, what I'd like you to do in regards to controlling that as well is just each session that you do, have a checklist for yourself to make sure that those things are happening. And bring any opportunities or anything that comes up in our next meeting as well. Okay, so reviewing it daily, and we'll chat as we go throughout the weeks as well when we see each other. I'm sure Billy will implement more of this stuff and check it with the rest of the team.
I'll pass it on to the rest of the team, no doubt.
Okay, next one is just an incident that occurred back last month, at the beginning of last month. Let's bring it up quickly. And we've got any sessions this afternoon? It is a Friday.
Okay. Friday, early. Early mark.
No one wants to train on a Friday afternoon. Alright.
Haven't you got booked in?
Although,
Keep it
I'll
coming.
take some.
Keep it coming.
I'll put the members in, clients. Okay, alright, awesome. So we had an incident with a man named Gerald. What happened here is Gerald has fallen and hit his head on the floor of the weight room. Michaela was one of the witnesses. So Michaela witnessed this and came running out from the gym, weight room, to inform a trainer as well. And this was back on, this is a while ago, 1st of the 10th, and it occurred early in the morning as well. There wasn't many people around actually. Where did the incident occur in the workplace? So the incident occurred in the weights room adjacent to the room that the trainer was in. So Michaela's seen it, run straight out, grab the trainer. So what was done about the incident? So all tasks were stopped that were occurring by that trainer and things that were in that weight room as well. The trainer went to the weights room to assess the situation and provide first aid. Gerald has reported on feeling dizzy when lifting weights and a bit dehydrated as he had not been drinking much water during his training session. After assessing Gerald for head injury, we identified a cut to his forehead. And we have called the ambulance, and we waited for Gerald whilst the ambulance was en route, and explained what happened to the ambulance at the handover to the paramedics. Gerald has no prior history on record or any health issues. After Gerald was picked up by the ambulance, we completed the incident report, and it has been completed and sent to the management team via email, which you would have got, and then Billy. So that was done through email. Once Gerald returns to the gym as well, but he hasn't returned yet, we just want to make sure that we do a follow-up with him on what next steps are and what has he come back from his GP as well. So if he has any restrictions on exercising or what he can or can't do, depending on weights or energy systems with his heart rate and so on as well. I will reach out to him this week to do a follow-up, just to see when he wants to come back. We can organise that, and I'll organise that with him as well at the same time. Okay.
Excellent.
So identified management, yes, and that was done through email. Okay. Any questions about that?
Poor
Yeah.
Jeff.
Poor Gerald. I know. Yeah, he's been going really well as well, actually, on his improvements. He's been consistent. The good PTs we've got in the gym. Good club management.
Good club management.
Okay, so that's the incident report. Last one was just employee welfare. So we did a review on fatigue and stress management. I'm just going to bring that up as well. So fatigue and stress management. So one of the risks for this, or a fatigue risk checklist that we'd gone through, was this was done on myself as well, just to give you guys the insights on it. So do I carry out any work for long periods which is physically demanding? No, I don't think it's physically demanding for what we're doing, just because we're walking around the clients lifting the weights. And they're not long periods as well. Do we carry out any work or long periods which is mentally draining and demanding? I ticked a yes for that one, because we're always going to be switched on, queuing, talking, and engaging as well. Does your work roster include shift work, which is a yes? Do you have less than a 10-hour break between each shift? No, so there's always a 10-hour break. Is work performed at low body clock time, so between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m? And I've got yes, because my clients will start at 4:30 as well. So self-monitoring, and there's a few things on here and checklists to go through of what it feels like if I am fatigued as well. Mine was just the inability to concentrate, so when I'm doing it for a long period of time, mine was just I can find it challenging to concentrate. So one of the things that I'm going to do, or a control measure for that, is just to make sure I optimise my sleep and make sure I'm getting my 7 hours sleep a night. And that would be making sure I get my tasks and my general duties done at work and then at home. Having a family, a wife and 2 kids. I tell you what, 2 kids are a handful sometimes.
Telling me.
One wants to sleep in your bed, one wants to cry, and a dog.
And a dog?
Beautiful wife.
You're lucky you got a good wife.
I know, very lucky. So mine was make sure I get 7 hours sleep, make sure that I get my tasks done at work and at home at an appropriate time, and just manage my sleep to make sure I maximise my concentration at work. It'd be good if you guys could do one of them maybe as well.
We can fill
At
one
some
out.
point.
Okay. Cool. So in closing, so this is probably a few things for us to review. So follow-up items were just control measures for hazards identified. So that's band on rig, dumbbell on floor, boxes stacked too high, and just the control measures for them. And that's making sure before and after class we talk to our clients about putting their equipment away and just checking that it's happened, and support them when needed as well. Next one is review Gerald's health on his next visits. So follow-up call to be completed by Cameron. The last one was just fatigue management plan to be reviewed weekly by myself as well. And Billy, if you can just maybe check in with me every now and again.
I can do that.
I appreciate that. Any questions about any of those things? No?
No. You're going to call Gerald or email Gerald.
I'm going to call Gerald.
Cool.
Yeah, and I'll come back to you with how I go with it. Cool. Awesome. Next meeting, 18th of the 2nd. I think it was next one's planned, which is next month. Time, we'll figure that out a bit closer, yeah? Maybe
We can
same
do that.
time. Maybe not Friday. Friday, 4 p.m.
Friday, 4 p.m. Perfect.
Perfect.
Cool. All right. Team. Done.
Done.
Thanks, guys. Let's let it go.
How good.
I'm gonna submit all of our conversations. They love it. Thanks, Emma. Thanks, Billy.
Thanks, Emma, for taking time out of your day. I know it's.
Oh.